really helps us out with fast shooting is learning to shoot with a good cadence versus you'll see a lot of shooters out there shoot one split on a target, which the split is the time between rounds on the target, and the transition is the time between rounds between targets.
Okay.
So their target splits will be great, ba-bop, and then they'll have this long transitional time, ba-bop, a long transitional time, ba-bop, and they're only firing. They're really doing a hammer, not a controlled pair. A hammer is with one sight picture and two trigger pulls.
Okay.
So I can't figure out why their second shot's missing. I'm sure you've done it.
Absolutely.
I've done it before too. So we're going to actually watch you. I'm going to load you up and see what you're doing and see if we can correct it and get some cadence in to smooth out those target transitions.
Okay.
Okay. Let's put our earmuffs on. Just draw and shoot the 3 targets.
One shot per target?
Well, no, 2 shots per
Okay.
target. Okay. Go ahead. All right. Now, your first one was bonk, bonk, fairly controlled sounding, and then you had a really long pause for your transitions, and then a quick double, and then a quick double. So let's go with a smoothness, bonk. Actually count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Like you're following a bouncing ball kind of thing.
Okay.
Go ahead. Try it out. Let's see what happened with your gun. Oh, we had a primer failure. Let's load them up.
Not
Do it
the
again.
First time that's happened.
Gun up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Better. But actually force yourself to slow your split down on the
Okay.
target and try to speed your transition up so they're all the same. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I think you're out of ammo. So go ahead and clear your gun out for me. I'm going to shoot them now and show you what it's supposed to sound like. This is primarily a learning exercise to speed people up on their actual transitions, their target transitions.
Okay.
Because they have such a tendency to focus so much on the split on the target, they screw up the transitions and they add
Right.
time. Target transitions, like an example of like the U.S. Nationals. There's 380 rounds of last year's Nationals. So you divide that in half for the number of targets. So, let's rough it out with like 400 rounds. So it'd be 200 targets, 2 rounds on each. Well, there's 100 splits and 100 target transitions then. You've got big chunks of time there.
Right.
If you add 1/10 of a second or 2/10 of a second per target transition, at the end of the match, you're 10 seconds behind
Right.
somebody else. Right off the bat. You're really behind. So I'm going to load up now.
Load and make ready.
And we're just going to do a draw. Now I'm going to try to keep everything nice and solid when I'm drawing because it's very critical when you're drawing. So. Just nice and smooth. You notice the transitions are pretty similar to the actual splits. Now, if I'm shooting this for real, now that I've developed my transitions, my personal transitions are pretty highly developed, I'm going to push this a little bit, and we're going to shoot some A's out here. But you notice there still isn't a huge difference between the two.
Right.
Okay? It's still pretty smooth. We're still looking at good hits.
Okay, today a little bit of training aid. This is a standard array US PSA. We'll be using a non-blowback CO2 17 round 6mm plastic BB, hence the 3 sheets of cardboard behind the old blanket to make sure nothing goes into the wall. But this will be a good drill. This is basic. What we're going to do is we're going to come across here and boom, boom, boom. All with the correct cadence. Get that, then we're going to go double, double, double into it. So that's the whole idea. And okay, from the ready here, come up. Okay, nice cadence there, ready? now we're going to try double. Hear that? Ready? And run out. But you can see for the distance and training aid, this is a real cost-effective means. Just get right in there. And you see it does give you feedback and some sound.